Start recording. Mic check. Pop pop. I think that's maybe just a little bit, not too much. Okay, somewhere in there. I think I'm okay. I'm okay. Nick is now going to be okay. There we go. I remember to transfer Nick over this time without making my joke without him on the screen. So Nick couldn't be here again. Job stuff. But hopefully he'll be back for not next week, but the week after. I think he actually has a vacation day next week or something. He was saying, which I don't know why you can't chit chat about Marvel stuff for 30 minutes on a vacation day, but to each their own, I guess you could say. We're going to be talking about Miss Marvel episode 6, the finale. And yeah, welcome to Marvel Multiverse Mayhem here on the Genreverse podcast network. Wherever you get your podcast from, Google, or Spotify, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. The Genreverse YouTube channel, of course, all part of the big LRMonline.com family. So head there every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions, and share your opinions with us as well. Not just hear our take on things. I think I said, sponsored by the good folks over at Grow Generation. There's a link down below if you can't wait, and there will be an ad later on. And I'm at that Kyle Malone. He would be did I point? He would be Geeky Nick, Geeky at Geeky Nick Doll on Twitter. And Miss Marvel episode 6, the finale, a spoiler-free review for that. It was better than what we've had the last few episodes, last 2 episodes specifically. More of what you wanted, but they brought back DODC, and they again tried to allow for it to harken back to the real world, our real world treatment of certain groups, Muslims in this case, after 9/11, the increased scrutiny and surveillance and things like that. But they also finally here in this episode made it clear that for DODC, it's just people with powers. That's it. That's the thing. But they still like to harken back to this stuff and mention other law enforcement. And this is something we discussed in previous episodes, that the MCU's government just didn't have that element to it in the writing. And if it did, then I wouldn't bat an eye at all of this. But it really seems like it's that we want to connect to some relatively contemporary commentary, but we're not going to commit to it because we've got this universe that we created that isn't filled with all of the real world issues. They've got aliens and things to worry about, which makes sense for DODC to be more concerned about people with powers than a particular race. But it was just clunky the way they handled DODC. There's lots of ways to talk about surveillance state or distrust of groups in the United States, even within the MCU. But the way that they did it just kind of felt clunky. So that kind of brought this episode down a bit, because you're watching DODC apparently be these big bad government forces acting completely stupid and not handling their situation well. And then the everything with the kids was great. Their big plan to face down the bad guys person issue. It's not even really clear. You see, there's not even a real real clear villain here. There's just like a series of unfortunate events. Haha, joke. But yeah, no, that's really the problem here. And there's so many things that people are going to tell me to turn off my brain on. Oh, the law enforcement allowed X, Y, and Z, or didn't act A, B, C, not just DODC, but authority. We'll say authority within the world, because it's a Marvel thing. It's not meant to be super realistic or grounded on who would get away with what, who would be questioned where. You got to turn that off. Except that up until phase 4, we had, not everything made sense, but we had a little bit more logic. And this, man, you're sitting there watching DODC, who's supposed to be kind of like the shield at this, in this show, so to speak, the government agency with their act together. And man, they're just awful. And it kind of takes down the threat, and it didn't work so well. And then you have the whole fact that if you've already been spoiled for the rest of the show, you know the deal with the clandestines and which ones are good or bad. They kind of, with the mom and in the last episode, they kind of just have some sort of redemption, but you're not quite sure that redemption is real or not, given what you see happen at the end of at the very end of last episode and a few events here. I don't know what the conflict was. Like, I don't get it. Like they wanted to pierce the veil, and then there's things about Cameron will talk about, their world and trying to save it and things like that, but none of the action. It feels like a lot of things were cut out, like missing, and that's upsetting. So outside of character moments, fun stuff with Bruno. I'm forgetting Kamala's friend's name right now, but Kamala and her and even Cameron were all great, but overall it's kind of a let down. It started really strong for 3 episodes. 4 was like, could have been worse, and then it was, and now it's like, I don't know if I were going to grade these things as an episode compared to the others, this was maybe a B. I want to go back and look at my past grades, but I don't think I wrote all of them down. I know that this was pretty like decent if we hadn't come off of 2 iffy ones, and if it wasn't yet another kind of I don't mean dumbed down, like it just wasn't as deep, and they just take too much for granted that the in this case DODC, they're just gonna make dumb decisions. They're just gonna do dumb things, even though we haven't seen incompetence on this level in government for the MCU in quite some time. And I don't want to hear about, oh well, Hydra hid. Yeah, that's the thing. Hydra was hiding. These people couldn't find anything hidden, and also couldn't hide anything if they wanted to. This was dumb. This was idiocy on a completely different scale. So I guess I would give this episode maybe like a B, maybe at best a B plus. If I gave anything, if I gave anything other than the first 3 episodes a B plus, then yeah, sure, this would be. But no, this is a B. And as a series, this was really disappointing. I want to, because of how bad the drop was, guys. It started out easily a B plus, A minus series, and has kind of ended in that C plus, B minus range. and I think I'm gonna give it a C plus as a series. The last 2 episodes, the fumbling with DODC, not just this episode, but in previous episodes, how easy the clandestines got away from them in like episode 3 or 4. Like there's a lot of issues here, and yeah, that's what I grade it. And with that, let's take a quick word from our sponsors. Come back and talk some spoilers.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. The Grow Generation commercial team is armed with industry-leading professional consultants. Grow Generation's team will help you fully manage any size or scale project. They offer turnkey facility designs, cultivation room design, and on-site project consultation. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
And thank you guys so much for sponsoring the episode as usual. Link down in the description box below. So spoilers. Cameron's has got. I think I might be throwing in an extra vowel in there, Cameron. But anyways, he's got his powers. You see that in then the end of last episode. We think the mom's gonna be in there trying to take control and reopen the realm or whatever. But in reality, he just gets angry and confused and thinks Kamala's betrayed him of sorts, because he didn't tell her about the what happened, but I guess since his mom's essence went into him, he can hear it. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'll take help. Like he freaks out, does all this damage to the surrounding area, and all the people are like, oh, how dare you shoot at kids. But holy crap, guys, this is a powered being. This is a powered being freaking using powers and hurting people, putting people in danger. I would have had a sniper take that kid out from way earlier on. And I get it, this is a fantasy and you got to turn your brain off some, but we've seen how enforcement would react to powered people in past Marvel projects. It's not with that level of incompetence, and they mix lethal and non-lethal weaponry to try to up the intensity and be like, oh, this is why everyone's so angry. But the dude is powered. He's out of control. He's angry. He is attacking. That's cause for use of force. And to act and write this big like guys, that's not it. It wasn't like he had just thrown a rock. Like this was appropriate escalation of force. And I know a lot of people don't understand what that is or even care, but man, that's just bad writing, and it puts no faith in you as the audience and your ability to grasp an escalation of force scenario, of meeting the offensive force with the appropriate defensive force, up to and including lethal force. And when he's attacking humans that aren't powered with powers that do damage like that, deadly force is authorized. Like we've seen it in the MCU. I mean, it was frustrating. So you get no real villain here. You get a bumbling DODC that basically becomes the final villain, and it's just so sloppily put together. I mean, the best best part about the best part about this whole episode was the kids plan, their home alone plan, their traps and gags and things like that to distract DODC, who somehow takes forever to enter the building to begin with, doesn't lock it down very very well, and these kids never thought about all the different exits they could have taken instead of letting DODC set up the perimeter. But that was still fun. It was what the show had started out being. And I don't necessarily know we needed DODC to be the bad guys this time around. If anything, going the kind of more stereotypical route of just anti-heroing people in that neighborhood or in that city, kind of being the mob, and that would have allowed it a little bit more Home Alone-y type feels, and having just regular Joes that are I'm gonna go take down the well, we're in spoilers now. I'm gonna go take down the mutant. I'll talk about that in a second. I think that would have been better, instead of trying to make this, hey, you guys remember after 9/11? Yeah, most of us still do quite well. That, and even if 9/11 happened in the MCU, you'd be like, well, what the hell, Shield? Come on now. But even if things like that had preceded you, you've given no inclination of the government being that way, and you could have written other things, like, or even explained it better, that why their communities are having issues in the MCU, because just having the DODC be that group, and then at the end of the day, they're not, though. They outright say he's like, people, or the main lady's like, people like that, and he's like, people like what? She's like, kids with powers, and exactly, yes, kids with powers is a people like that moment that you don't want kids making hormonal and irrational decisions not based off of experience, with powers involved, and that those are all valid points. So that was just frustrating, and it made it hard to enjoy the good parts, stuff with the family, like Kamala telling her parents about her powers, but the mom had already let the dad know, and the dad told the brother. It was still great. It was still fun, but it gets immediately overshadowed by all of the dumb stuff. Yeah. So let's talk about the mutant thing. Mutants are now, I guess, just there. I don't know what they're going to explain, but Kamala is part human and part clandestine, and I guess the human part has a mutation, is what they said in there. And she's like, well, whatever I am, I'm sure it'll get a label. And that's something Nick and I talked about a few weeks ago, that DODC could become the next we're reversed type, like they'll be the anti-mutant group basically within the government. And it's an interesting way to bring in the mutants. And while I'm not one that just wants all of us sudden be mutants, due to the snap, or due to a lot of things, because Charles and Magneto, like Charles and Eric, or however you want to, whichever names you want to go with, Professor X and Magneto have to have certain experiences. Now, it doesn't have to be World War II. Okay, that would be very, very old. And people have floated the idea of like Will Smith before the Oscars incident and other African American male and black actors to play them using the civil rights era. Well, again, now think about it. Someone's 10 years old to experience the trauma there in the 60s. How old would that make them now, 60 years later? That'd put them in their 70s. So again, I personally don't want that old of a Magneto or Xavier. So you find the next like traumatic thing, and within the U.S. there's not a lot. Outside of the rest of the world, there's quite a bit. There's been a lot of suffering in, of course, on the African continent, in Southwest Asia, in Southeast Asia. There's been wars and things during the Cold War era. Lots of brutality throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s in Central Europe and Eastern Europe. So there are things that are a little bit closer in time to find trauma on that level, but that's the key. You have to have Magneto go through experiencing some sort of human racism or bigotry. In the case of traditional X-Men, he was he was Jewish and dealt with the concentration camps, and then the bigotry for being a mutant. Okay, you got to find a trauma for that to go along with. So I don't know how to take the big X reveal, other than I don't mind her being a mutant, but you guys have got to, don't just shoehorn in some stuff. Like think about it, because like the Marvel is the woke side of, and I mean that in the good sense, what it used to be before it became a joke term basically, but it was the progressive imprint, like our books. Everything dealt with contemporary issues, contemporary controversies, from violence against African Americans to everything going on with the mutants, and I mean all of it was allegory or metaphor and meant to discuss things going on in our world, Cold War fears and all of that. So I have no issue exploring more modern trauma, but you got to find one, and you got to make sure that it is on the same level of trauma at that the Holocaust. To a degree, I mean, there's nothing on that level, but you know what I'm saying. It's gotta be big. It can't. I'm sorry, guys. No one today, at least here in the United States, is facing anything near the Holocaust, and you have to have a traumatic experience that is as close to that as possible in order for Magneto to make sense. So we'll see how the mutation thing goes. And then the final scene being Carol Danvers switching places with Kamala was cute and sets up next year's the Marvels. Don't know how great it's going to be. Carol's suit looked fine. It was kind of funny to see her freak out over all of the merchandise around the room, but I don't know, man. Here's the good thing. I enjoyed the character this time around. Unlike every other experience I've had with Miss Marvel and the game and books, even the Lego Marvel games has just been meh, whatever. And it's a thing. She's written not for me. I'm not plugged into youth and pop culture like that and was portrayed in the books. But this was good, and I hope the Marvels is good. I really do. Monica Rambeau was a cool character in WandaVision, and that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think down below. What's the grade for Miss Marvel as a series and as an individual episode? Make sure you're checking out LRM Online, lrmonline.com every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. We do things about leaks and rumors. We cover actual, regular news, like official, hey, statement from so and so on such and such. Give our opinions on things, interviews, reviews, comic books stuff, video games stuff. Hell, today on the Daily Cup of Genre, one of our other podcasts, we looked at the James Webb Space Telescope images. So you should check those out. All of our podcasts can be accessed from the site, as well as available at all your favorite podcast apps. Anime-versal reviews. We're doing Classroom of the Elite Season 2, Daily Cup of Genre. That's this one. No. This is Marvel Multiverse Mayhem. Sorry, I just edited Daily Cup of Genre. We do news and trailers and sometimes just geeky pop culture type conversations about whatever pops into our mind. Try to be 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, does a weekly long form podcast talking about news, and usually have a show or movie to review. And then the Cantina does Star Wars news, rumors, and we'll be reviewing Andor when it hits. And then, of course, all of that goes up on the YouTube channel, so please hit the red subscribe button. Man, my brain is getting tired, isn't it? Hit the red subscribe button. Check out all the podcasts in video format, and also the genre shot trailer reactions. Yeah, lots of stuff. That's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. At that Malone on Twitter. Follow at the Genreverse on Twitter, and join our Discord. Have conversations with us there. Links down below. Excelsior, enough said.